Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Season 3 of Spurs Up. We're your new co-hosts. I'm Jack Taylor.
And I'm Bumbaca.
And we're here alongside Gamecock legend, record holder of the most career rushing touchdowns, Marcus Lattimore. Thank you so much for being with us here today, Marcus.
I like that introduction. You got to keep that going. Keep going. What else?
Let's see.
Great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Newly appointed Director of Player Development here at the University of South Carolina. It's great to have you back and to be a part of the team. Now, with your new position, give us a little bit of details of what that entails.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm happy to be back. This has always been home to me and always will be home to me. Came here in 2010 as a player and came here to play football and got a lot more than that. And this university has so many different resources, so many different outlets for our guys that they just don't have time to tap into. I'm going to be that guy to help them unleash all that potential that they have inside, but also use the resources they got, use the network and alumni that we have. My Carolina Association, they do a great job connecting us, and we have to use that. So my job in player development, it's three components to it. And I think when you start anything, you have to have a mission. And our mission is that every guy leaves this university and they have self-awareness. They find their identity. They know the importance of community service, and they use this beautiful network that we have. So my day-to-day basis, we start at 5 a.m. and we go all the way, until they go to class. And I'm at every workout. When practice starts, I'll be at every practice, every game, building that trust factor in between. So, my job is a lot of different things. It's not just one specific thing. I'm a mentor. I'll probably be somewhat of a coach when I get around those running backs. But it's so much more than just development. It's about, everything that comes with being a college student and being a college athlete. I help them navigate that process.
Now, once you get, into more of the swing of things, and once
Right.
the season gets started up, or even like the off-season practices get started up, give us a little bit of rundown of what your day-to-day operations would be, or if you have day-to-day
Right.
stuff that you would do every day.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely want to meet with every player, and there's 85 to 100 at any given time. Meet with every player once per term, and Coach Muschamp, he's great. He has a organized schedule of everything that we'll be doing. So we'll have practice, here very soon, starting with spring practice. I'll just give you a day-to-day outside of the season and in the season. We'll go through spring practice, and then I'll have a meeting with 3 or 4 guys. And then, pretty much I'm in the meetings and I'm learning about everything that's going on within the program. I'm at the academic meetings, and we haven't really set a time for those yet, but I'll be at the football meetings. I'll be at the staff meetings. I'm involved in every different aspect of the whole program, so I'll be pretty busy, but it's everything that I love. I don't even consider this a job, because I empathize with the guys in the locker room, for one, and two, it's more about life than football for me. You strap it on, and if you're lucky, you play 15 years, and then you have to go live. I want to really, really build those life skills. So those meetings with the player will be the gist of what I do, making sure they're prepared.
Yeah,
So.
Now Marcus, with your new job, you are essentially the personal life coach for these players.
Right.
And Coach Will Muschamp said, nobody knows how to handle adversity as a Gamecock like Marcus Lattimore. Yeah. With your experiences, how do you plan on helping current and future Gamecocks?
It's, when Coach said that, it's, to a sense, I've been through a lot.
Yeah.
But we all go through a lot.
Exactly.
And being able to navigate that and I guess really change their mindset of seeing adversity not as a setback, but a part of the growing process. Yeah, I really think that's it. I'm just a regular guy. if anything, I'm learning from Coach Muschamp, you know, about selflessness and, you know, some of the things that he does when it comes to preparation and organizing. I mean, he's just a great guy to learn under. I'm honored to work for him, but, you know, really changing their perspective, I think that's going to be the biggest thing. Not looking at adversity and success as these big milestones, but looking at it as a part of life and being able to keep going no matter what. So.
And then what do you think, so you talk about, obviously he's talked about adversity a bit, what do you think is one of your main attributes that equips you to be able to be a life coach for almost every single player on the Gamecock football team?
Well, I've walked the halls of Williams-Brice. I've been on this campus. I empathize with everything that they go through. I guess the biggest thing is probably experience, being in those shoes. And you know, people, you know, right now as the New England Patriots are preparing, you know, it's going to matter that they've been there 5 times before. You know, and I mean, I think it's the same thing in life. When you've seen things over and over and over again, you're able to give advice because you lived it, you know, not because it's in a book, you know, and I think that's the biggest thing. But also, I've been through some things that not a lot of people have been through, you know, declaring for the NFL draft. You know, that's one thing that some of these guys will be able to do, and they'll be trying to figure out which agent should I go to, or, you know, which marketing agent should I sign with. And I'll be able to give them advice on little things like that, or, you know, my Pell Grant or this rent check, how do I budget that? You know, or when I'm about to go rent an apartment, you know, the language in the rental agreement. You know, little things like that, or, you know, if you go buy a car, you know, things that people don't think about, that these guys just don't have time to learn about. I'll be there to do that for them and or assist them in that process. So.
Yes, sir. So give us a little insight. The announcement of this job kind of came out of the blue. We didn't really, you know, I don't know if people kind of saw it coming. So
Right.
Did you approach Muschamp for the job, or did he kind of reach out to you? How did that go about?
Right. I've been in contact with Coach Muschamp for about 2 years now.
Okay, so before you even got the job here.
Absolutely. He was in consideration, obviously, to be the head coach, and I got a call, and you know, he said, "I want you to be a part of the program," and it was exciting. But you know, during that time in my life, it wasn't the right timing at all. I was finishing up my degree here in public health, and you know, I was just trying to figure out my way in life. I didn't exactly know what I wanted to do. I have a foundation that kind of prohibited me to do certain things with compliance, and it just didn't work out. It never worked out, but we stayed in contact. And Coach Muschamp and I have so many similarities. You know, he's a God-fearing man. He believes in, you know, selflessness, and, you know, one of his biggest priorities is his family. You know, and it just started to align, and we stayed in contact. And, you know, he gave me a call after my season concluded at the school that I was coaching with, and he asked me, was I interested in that opportunity again? And, you know, it felt right. And, you know, sometimes things just feel right, and you feel it in your gut. And, you know, that's what I felt. I knew this was an opportunity for me to magnify my platform even more. You know, I truly believe that, you know, life is about giving back and serving others, and what better way than to do it at my alma mater with guys that some of them I know, and I know what they go through. It just, all the stars aligned, I guess, so.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that just made it the right time to come back.
Absolutely.
And I want to know, after your experience as a head coach at Heathwood High School, now, and you also said that you would like to coach a little bit this season, what impact are you going to have as a running backs coach on the Gamecock staff this year?
I doubt I'll be coaching.
Okay.
I'll just give them tips every now and then. You know, if I see something that could be a little bit better.
Yeah. You'll be out on the practice
I'll
field.
definitely be out on the practice field, and I'll be watching their every move. I mean, because I want them to be great, and I played the position, and
Yeah.
I think I can offer some advice every now and then. But I really enjoyed my time coaching. I really did. From every fifth grader to every senior that came into my life, they impacted me in a positive way. And I'll still be able to have that impact, but it just won't be with X's and O's on a daily basis. But, you know, we got some good guys. I mean, we got some great talent in the backfield with Rico Dowdle, A.J. Turner. We got a few freshmen coming in that I think is going to make a big splash. Should be a fun year for the running backs, the best position on the field.
So I was going to say, do you, as a director of player development, do you kind of see yourself being drawn towards the running backs a little bit more than the other players?
Offense in general. You know, I think you
You're
have
an
to have
offensive guy, right?
I'm an offensive guy, and I just think you have to have a little bit more. I just think you have to have a little bit more fire when you play offense. You know, defense is simple. You know, if you tackle well, if you do things the right way, I mean, you can be a good. Yeah, and if you play with intensity, you can be a good defensive team. But offense, it takes a lot of different things. It takes scheme. It takes a lot of time in the classroom. I'm not saying defense doesn't, no, but I think offense, I'm just a little bit more biased, I guess.
And so you had talked a little bit about it earlier, about the impact that you had while you were, or that the impact that, you know, the players and even the students had on you while you were coaching at Heathwood Hall.
Right.
How much harder did that make it to leave Heathwood Hall when you were offered this job and as the stars aligned?
Right. That was, I've been through some hard things in my life, and I've done some hard stuff, but that was the top of the list. You know, because those kids gave me everything that they had every single day. You know, we had middle school guys at summer workouts every single day, you know, giving it their all. And, you know, the results showed. I mean, they played well, and, you know, we had a good time. We had a good team. We had a good staff. And, you know, I know they'll continue to do great things at Heathwood without me, you know, because they just have that mentality. And, you know, I think all I brought was, you know, just that attitude of selflessness, you know, playing for each other, you know, and being a team. And, you know, those guys, they'll always have a place in my heart, no matter what. That was my first job, you know, and I'm so thankful to Jeff Whalen and Chris Hinchy, who are the heads of school, that gave me that opportunity to coach at Heathwood. And, you know, I'll never forget it. The lessons I learned at that school, I'll carry for the rest of my life.
Yes, sir.
That's great. Now, Marcus, you are going to be a coach for these players, but I want to talk about the guys that have coached you. Steve Spurrier.
Oh, yeah.
I want to know, what are the similarities and differences, because you've also been in contact with Coach Muschamp. What would you say are the similarities and differences between those two?
Well, I mean, I've had some amazing coaches, and one thing that sticks out about all of them, they just love the game of football.
Yeah.
You know, they eat, sleep, breathe the process of going through a season.
You got to love it.
You got to love it. And I mean, when it comes to the film, when it comes to practice, when it comes to someone, they love every aspect of the game and everything that leads up to it. And Coach Spurrier and Coach Muschamp, those guys are master preparers. I mean, and when it comes to preparation, there's nobody who does it better. And I mean, I've learned so much from them, not only, you know, when it comes to football, I mean, but about life. I mean, those things are things that translate to your life: hard work, dedication, preparation, being organized. Those are some of the lessons that I've been able to take, obviously, from Coach Spurrier, who I played under, but Coach Muschamp, I mean, he's nonstop, and it's motivating to be around.
Yeah, and those are all things that you can take off of the football field and apply to almost every area of your life. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great.
So we have a bit of a legacy at South Carolina of having, you know, intense, or maybe even, dare I say, terrifying coaches, and you've, you know, had the opportunity to kind of be able to interact with all of them.
Right.
You've been able to, you know, be coached by Spurrier. You now work with Muschamp. You've seen the intensity of Coach Tanner when he coached,
Oh, yeah.
and then even just witnessing Frank Martin or Don Staley on TV and see how intense they can get. Who do you
Right.
think is the most intense coach, or even the most terrifying coach out of them?
Oh gosh, that's tough, man. Well, and they're so passionate about what they do, and it's evident when they hop up, on the basketball court, and when they sling their headset off on the football field. I mean, it's just who they are, and they love the game, and they feel like, it could be done a little bit better at that time, but it's just passion. But, ranking those guys, I mean, that's tough. I mean, I love watching Frank Martin on the sideline choose somebody out.
Oh, that's the best.
That's awesome. But, I mean, Dawn Staley, I mean, just an amazing human being. And, she expects the best. And, that's one thing that all 5 of those coaches you just named, they expect the best out of their players because they know that in life, you got to give your best. You got to give your all. And at the end of the day, when you leave their programs, whether it be baseball, basketball, football, we have the best coaches in the country. When you leave their program, you can call on them at any time because they care about you, and that's why they were so hard on you.
Yes, sir. All right, well, that wraps it up here today. Again, Marcus, I want to thank you for coming on the show with us and answering these questions for us. It's awesome to have you here for our first show of the season.
Yeah,
Glad
really
to be here.
appreciate it.
Spurs up.